Episode 3, Say It Isn't So.
So we are at the conclusion of week number 2 for this rehab project. We had a big unexpected finding this
There's a lot of
week.
things that took us for a spin and more time than we anticipated.
Week 2 punch list. Continue to work on leveling the floors.
Our contractors were in here working really hard at trying to level it out by, jacking up the support beam.
We had to flush, drain, and balance the radiators. We also had to replace the bedroom 2 radiator, which is another difficult task.
But we switched to this size here from this size here.
Lastly, in week 2, we started painting the window trims throughout the house.
Progress here. Now, aside from it being a messy work site, I was going to show you. So, if you don't recall, there was a half wall that basically was behind the cabinets here, and we had to knock that down. We had a big unexpected finding this week. It actually resulted from us trying to level out. We had some unlevel flooring on the first floor and also on our top floor. Our contractors were in here working really hard at trying to level it out by, jacking up the support beam. First floor responded great and the floor is completely level now. It's kind of hard to show you on a video. But then when they were trying to do the top floor and level that out, they kept jacking up the beam and they realized that it was just not responding. So they're like, what is going on?
So as the guys were jacking in the basement, nothing was happening in the top floor of the house. Little by little, the drywall began to buckle.
So one of the contractors is like, you know what, before we keep doing this, let's take the hammer and clock at the drywall where the beam was and realize
it began to buckle and crack. So finally they started pulling back the layers of the drywall. Come to find out, there was no load supporting beam in the kitchen. Holding up the second floor, boxed in a empty space.
It was a facade. There was no beam, support beam for the main support for the second floor.
So that was a disappointment for us.
Which, as you can imagine, is a huge deal. Like, that is a huge safety concern. If they kept trying to jack up that beam that did not exist, this would have been a whole different story.
To buckle and crack.
So we're really happy that he took the initiative to do that and find out that there was no beam. To knock down the wall and put in a new support beam to go across.
Not only was it more costly, support structure is not cheap. I'd say that job there cost us $2,500, but it was also more time consuming and also a waste of time for us. We added another 3 to 4 days, if not a week, if you add up the sanding, painting, drywall, etc. Luckily we have good guys that are doing the jobs.
And you can see where they have added the support and they're able to jack it up and the flooring is finally level upstairs too. So we were not expecting to do that. So we are going to be planning on putting up that half wall again. We don't want to lose our cabinet space for the kitchen. But I definitely like how it's more open, but I do feel like, storage is definitely a necessity. The thing that we worked on, I should say our contractors worked on, is upstairs we put in a new radiator and they took down some paneling.
Yeah, they did a skim coat and they're going to put up more sheetrock when it's all done.
So skim coat. And the bathroom is a mess. If you guys remember from update from week 1, I showed it to you guys, very transparent. And it's not looking any better, but at least that one panel of the wall looks better. So you can see here, I'm not saying this looks better, but they just took this down. We're getting ready to gussy that up for week 3. And I'll just show you. So I don't know if you remember, but there was actually a mirror here. But this is where they were worked on. Ooh, the door just shut behind me. And the other thing that we got was a new radiator. The radiator that was in this bedroom took up some space, and we were able to find one that's a little bit more sleek and slender.
That radiator actually ended up cracking in the winterization of the house, and there was damage, so we had to replace it.
Show it to you here.
Radiators nowadays for us are very difficult to find. We managed to go to a second-hand shop to get an old radiator. We paid about $125. Our guys did a good job installing it, scraping it, repainting.
But Trent has been working really hard today. Sorry as I hit my foot on a ladder. I'm gonna get the radiators and the heat back to functioning how they were. And
This was a bit of a balancing act for us, being that there's 2 floors in the house. It's an older house, of course, older radiators, and getting all the hot water to the end of the run into the biggest bedroom on what appears to be the oldest radiator in the house was very difficult. So the bedroom was not getting hot at all. With a little trial and error, opening some valves up, closing some valves down, we managed to get the hot water to the end of the run into the big bedroom at the end of the line. At the end of this, obviously it took a lot of trial and error, but that ended up being the hottest room in the house, so we had to turn that back and managed to get a nice even flow throughout the house. Stay tuned. We have a lot more upgrades going in week 2, and from here we're going to show you guys all the good improvements we're working on. Thanks.
I'm really happy that we discovered that we needed to add the support beam, because that could have been just a really bad situation all around. So that is the update for week number 2, and we'll have more good stuff for you come to the conclusion of week 3. We filmed these episodes pre-coronavirus pandemic. We hope you're all staying safe and healthy. If you could please support our small business by liking this video, subscribing to our YouTube channel, following us on Facebook at our page Mission Edition Properties, and also following along on our Instagram. Thank you guys.